I want to talk about a mindset. I want to raise a question, and we want to observe a behavior that is very, very strange, very, very unnatural. Because I say unnatural because this behavior you will not find in nature, to my knowledge, by no example of insect or worm or bird or reptile or mammal. This behavior, and we want to use, when we look at nature, a lot of times we must observe the life form known as mammals, because in biology and science, the human being is a mammal. And a mammal is just a life form that feeds its young, or their young, on milk from mammary glands. Makes them a mammal. A bird is not a mammal. A goat is a mammal. A bear is a mammal. A chicken is not a mammal. And grasshoppers are mammals, or crocodiles. So when we're not these animals, but we're mammals, and we should share a lot of the similarities in their behaviors between the roles that you find in their societies between male and female. And to my knowledge, I cannot observe where the male animal develops some type of envy or jealousy or hatred of their female. In fact, in nature, you see that the female is held in very, very high regard. In fact, in most mammalian societies, you will see that she, not he, is the head of the family. I was told in gorilla or primates, specifically gorillas, I was told that it is the male that leads the family, but behind the scenes, he is guided by the females. It is common sense, and you would think that it is more appropriate that the female would lead the family, since that offspring is closer to her than the male. That offspring, as soon as they come out the womb, first of all, they develop in her body. And when they come out the womb, they still next to her body. They hear her voice. They hear her heart for months and months before they come into this world. There is an umbilical cord attached from that mother to that child. There's no umbilical, there's no blood running from the male to the child. This is why it's very easy for males to abandon their children, because the male does not have that connection, that closeness. The only thing and the best thing that a man could do is try to develop love, which is an emotion. But as you can see in this society and throughout the courtrooms of this nation, you will see men who really don't care too much about that connection to their children. There are countless abandoned children in this country and all over the world because men don't have that type of connection. They have to develop it through the emotion called love. I love my boy. I love my children. But a woman don't have to say that. She don't have to verbally express anything. It is quite apparent that there's something going on, that there's a connection between this child and their mother. So here we are, even in 2021. It is mind-boggling, and that's why I say that this is an unnatural behavior. And the unnatural behavior are those males or these adult men who say they love their mother. Listen, they say they love their mother, but they express a hatred for the black woman. They have a hatred. It's mind-boggling to me because your mother is a black woman. You call your female, your women, all types of names that I'm not going to express here on this video because we hear this 24 hours a day. And it's so terrible that even the women themselves express these nasty, vulgar, disrespectful names. But this comes from abuse. When a person is exploited, when a person is abused for a certain period of time, they become what the exploiter, what the abuser wants them to be. So we as a people, soul brothers and sisters, we have no problem with saying the word nigger because we as a people have heard that name for hundreds of years. And now we call ourselves coons and sambos and all the names that the slave master and his children have called us. Now we do it to ourselves. And the female call themselves the B word and all these other names voluntarily, and you do it with a smile. But my question and observation is, and I don't understand, maybe somebody from the manosphere can explain this to me. How can you claim you love your mother, but you have this big problem and hatred for black women, period? Now, there are those like Tommy Sotomayor, those of you who may be familiar with him. He's made it very quite clear. He has a problem with his mother. He don't like his mother. So it's understandable why he says and does that type of behavior that he expressed. It's understandable. But at the same time, I love my daughter. But your daughter is a black woman. It's contradictory and it's hypocrisy. It makes no sense. Because another man with your attitude will view your daughter that you love the same way as you view another man's daughter. another man's wife, another man's auntie. If you have a big problem with black women, then you have to have a problem with your daughter, with your mother, with your grandmother, your female ancestors of the past. Oh, they was different. But if you could interview the men that associated with them, they wouldn't be, a lot of them wouldn't be too much different than you are. But for some reason, you think they're different. This is a sickness. This is more of the Negro rhetoric that is not well thought out of. As much of what we do is solely based upon emotion. Because an individual hurt your feelings. And this is what I noticed among this group of men. There was a brother who was a prime example. Oh, man, and black women, and he blames everything on, look at the statistics, look at the black women's behavior, and blah, blah. He can break it down with the science and the facts. Then one day, this black woman hater, he met a woman. She was nice to him. She was nice looking. She could cook. She could play a little basketball. And all that black woman hate stuff, he stopped posting. A little of it was still in him. He tried to put it out there, but it's very difficult for him to do that when he got a good woman at home. And this is the problem with Cynthia G. This is the problem with the manosphere, the woman's sphere, and all these persons. They don't have nobody at home. They don't have nobody to love them. They don't have nobody to cook for them and care for them. And a lot of times, the reason you don't, because it's your fault. A lot of y'all are grimy. You're selfish. You have a lot of problems. And instead of looking at ourselves, her, she thinks she all that. I don't mean, she think all that. With a damn weave. I don't like weave. I want natural hair. Then you become nitpicky. And the girl that this young man start dating wear weave. So a lot of the things, the nitpicking, because we mad, our feelings hurt, all that goes out the door. Because when you find somebody that you can love, somebody that will care about you, you're able to work with and look over the weave and or the snoring at night or the stinky feet, and it's a lot of things that you can compromise and tolerate. The problem here is these people are having a hard time finding love. And maybe the first place that you need to look and learn how to love is yourself. Because as a black man or a soul brother, I have to love her because she's part of myself, and vice versa. What you think? Jot down your comments.